Hey guys, what's up? Today we're talking about this. This is the new Athlon 3000G from AMD. Pretty much their lowest end new processor that they have. I picked this up at Micro Center for $50, and it's a dual-core, 4-thread CPU. It's got integrated graphics, although we're not going to be testing those today because, no, you can't run anything on integrated graphics besides maybe Microsoft Word if you're lucky. But today we're going to be testing the CPU to see, given the best possible circumstance, literally the best that you can get on this CPU, can we game on it? So, for our motherboard, we're going with the just simple B450M DS3H. B450 is basically about all you need, and I did get a new test bench, or my first test bench, because I haven't had one until now. And this is basically the best you can get for the CPU. Like, B450, you can get X570, all that, it won't matter. A320 is basically what you're expected to get with this. So B450 is definitely an upgrade. Now, I really hope this board works with it. It is upgraded for 3rd gen. It is updated for 3rd gen Ryzen. It does have the BIOS update and everything, but I don't know if this counts as 3rd gen because I don't know if it released at the same time. I don't really know a lot about it. If you don't know why I have this, it's because this is actually what I ended up shipping. Well, will end up shipping to win the recent giveaway because it was just I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna grab the cheapest CPU at Micro Center because that's what people voted for. We had a stream and people were like, yeah, just go cheap this month so we can save money for next month, and it was like, fine, it's a free CPU. So I'm going to RAM. First, that's one of the first specs. Don't forget the integrated graphics and the CPU share the same RAM. Not that it matters because we're using dedicated graphics today, but in order to give this CPU the best possible, ability, best chance of being good, we're going with 64 gigs of DDR4 3200. So this is Trident Z RGB. These are 16 gig DIMMs each of them. So this should be pretty good. This stupid test bench. It costed so much money and it doesn't work. So this should be good. Nice 64 gigs of RAM that I just have laying around. I was thinking about doing 32 gigs of Trident Z Royal, but Trident Z RGB just 64 gigs. That's why. And it's easier to work with. So, and in terms of cooler, I thought about going with like some crazy cooler. You know what? I have a better idea. This cooler, kind of boring. But this is more like it. This is AMD's Wraith Prism or whatever it's called, RGB cooler. Now that'll give our CPU the best ability to be cool. Do I have any thermal paste in here? For thermal paste, I'm just going to be using some Arctic MX4, which is expensive thermal paste that I shouldn't be wasting on an Athlon, especially one that I'm giving to somebody for free. But, to each their own. Going to waste all of that on my Athlon. And we're going to be using this amazing stock cooler. I actually love this stock cooler. It looks nice. So for a graphics card, I thought about doing something balanced, like an RX 580, something you would expect to have with the CPU motherboard combo like this. But like I said, we have to give it the best chance that I can possibly give with the tools that I have. So I have to use the best things I have, and that's why we're using a GTX Titan X Pascal. Yep, I have it sitting around. It's been doing nothing, so it's about to get some use as our GPU. Oh no, the SATA cable. This should allow us to get the maximum performance. If we run into a GPU bottleneck, I will be so surprised. Because it's almost impossible to run into a GPU bottleneck here. But, I mean, here, if I crank it up to 4K, which I can't because I don't have a 4K monitor and I don't care what you think about that, super sampling never really works. I might be able to maybe make this CPU worth it, but that's the point. Let's get this all set up and plugged in. Alright, we're done. And just like that, I'm going to short the power pins. And our system is on. How beautiful is that? I wish you guys could see the top. It looks so nice. But you can't because you're far away and I don't have a camera person. And, oh, cool. Yeah, we're just going to ignore that. Nothing's happening. Alright, we're in Windows, and I just want to go to Task Manager real quick before we get into the games. And, yeah, we're using 100% of our CPU at Windows. That says stupid anti-malware. Get rid of all this stuff in the background. I don't care about OneDrive and Skype. Go away. Alright, we turned off our virus protection because it was taking up 50% of our entire CPU, which is stupid. And now we're going to be launching Red Dead Redemption 2 if we even can. And Rockstar Launcher is using 50% of our CPU. Rock on, Rockstar. Alright guys, I'm going to be right back once we try to get a game launched. Here's the thing. There is no way I can run a recording software on this system. It is impossible. With 2 cores, 4 threads, it is highly unlikely that even using GPU encoding, that I can get OBS to run and not use my entire system. So, shoot, I just realized that. I don't have a capture PC set up right now nearby, and I've got to get this CPU out the door by Monday. And today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. I have to get this CPU out in the mail to the giveaway winner by Monday. Therefore, I'm just gonna have to just go for it and talk. I mean, the screen's right here. We'll just have to do it like that. Great. Awesome video. Oh, please okay, I don't care. I'm not gonna update my drivers. Something tells me, by, well, the length of this loading screen, that this is going to be a horrible gaming experience. Like I said, I've given it everything. 64 gigabytes of DDR4, a Titan XP, amazing cooling, and the game is running. Let's see that FPS. Oh, we're in game. Oh, man. Yeah, our CPU quickly jumped up to 100% usage, although it's not terrible. We're running right now at 46, 47 FPS-ish, and I bet we can change our settings to fix that. So let's try to make our GPU a bottleneck. Let's see those numbers. Oh, they've remained exactly the same, and my character is running really fucking weirdly. There we go. Alright, let's try to call my horse. You know what? This is extremely playable. So at maximum settings, so we have the same FPS at low settings and max. So that does show we have a CPU bottleneck. But running at maximum graphic settings, we are running, our frame times are pretty terrible, around 20 to 25 milliseconds between frames, but we're running about 40 to 50 FPS in-game at maximum settings, and our CPU and GPU are switching off between the 100% marker. Oh my god, this is terrible. Yeah, no, you guys all deserve to die. Yeah, I got a shotgun, you don't. You know what? Okay, so I died, but that does show, hey, Red Dead Redemption 2, if you happen to have a Titan XP, you can run at maximum settings with the Athlon 3000G. Yes, I know this is a stupid test, but I'm trying my best to give it the benefit of the doubt. So, maximum FPS, about 50 to 60, but mostly around the 40s and 50s, and you know what? That's not too bad. So let's move on to our next game. Alright, so moving on to our next game is a historically CPU-intensive game, and that is CSGO. Now, this game is, you know, basically a perfect game to test the CPU on, because it'll actually test its ability to, you know, run the game on CPU power. This game runs about 2 to 4 cores anyway, so this CPU might be the perfect CSGO competitive CPU, in which case I might be able to make some kind of perfect CSGO competitive system based around this CPU. Although, I must say, people have tested it time and time again. They try to say, yes, you can game on the Vega graphics, playing like CSGO. You cannot game on the Vega graphics on this thing. I do not recommend doing that, especially not CSGO. People try to say, oh, CSGO will run fine. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend getting 16 gigs of RAM also, even for games like CSGO. We're only using 6, but there's a loading screen. Good, a perfect map to test the game. So, this is definitely a good map. Let's try to hop in this deathmatch. I'm looking for above 100 FPS. If we can't get that, I'll be embarrassed for this thing. Oh my god, we're just barely getting 100 FPS at some points. I don't have any of my settings here. Oh man, that's laggy. Oh, frame times. This is not the perfect CPU I was hoping for. I don't want random weapons on. Who would? I mean, we're definitely able to hit headshots. It's not a problem here at all. But, you know, I mean, here's the thing. If you're good, 100 FPS is fine. Especially for a budget system, you're probably not getting a 144 FPS monitor. You know, 144 hertz, I mean. You know, with an Athlon, you might actually be pretty fine. You know, besides that, I mean, here's the thing. This is an entirely playable and if you're good, and there's people like, I need a PC because I'm so good at CSGO, I need to play it, trust me, all those people in my comment section who say that, if you're as good as you say you are, you'll be fine with this CPU on CSGO, as long as you get a even subpar GPU. But besides that, this is fine. This is a playable experience. About 100 FPS on this Athlon, fine. Let's move on to the next game. Again, this is completely stupid, and like I said, we're just testing the maximum possible performance you can get on an Athlon 3000G, which is not that much. And I'm gonna try Hitman 2 on max settings. I know it's not going to work, but I'm gonna try it just for the sake of having a complete video. Well, as complete as it can be. I wanted to do like testing VR and such, and it just didn't happen. Now, I'm definitely not even going to bother trying my normal level, which has so many characters and NPCs and stuff that it's pointless. Let's try something a little more graphics intensive, like this beautiful night scene where there are no people whatsoever. Wow, this is surprisingly playable. What? So, maximum settings. Now, this is just the start of the level, so, what's to be expected. We're running 100% CPU. That's just a given. 100% CPU usage. Again, on a dual-core 4th-thread CPU at 3500 megahertz clocked, locked clock speed, we're getting above 100 FPS max settings on Hitman 2. And I know that's, normally it's like, oh, that's a GPU bottleneck. This is CPU bottlenecked. We're getting 100 FPS on Hitman 2. Okay, that has blown my expectations right out the door, because now I don't even know what to expect. Although, let's get a little further in the level, and let's get to a point where there are NPCs, there are actual enemies, logic, aka CPU load, to fight, and we'll see if the CPU performs or well. But even looking around, like, this is surprisingly fluid and playable, and I am impressed that this CPU is able to do what it's doing. Grab ourselves some guns. I wonder if I can beat this level. This is probably the last game I'm gonna test, because here's the thing. In the end, just think, in the end, this is like literally, again, I've said it multiple times, best possible case scenario for this CPU. Now, I doubt anyone buying a 3000G is going to have a Titan XP, a better cooler, 64 gigs of RAM on hand. Now, the RAM ended up not mattering. We're only using up to 6 gigabytes. So, even 8 gigs, which, for this game, surprising. Even 8 gigs would be fine. But, let's see if I can, let's see. So, we've got people on screen now. And, yeah, our FPS is a little lower. We're in the 70s, but that's still very impressive. Let's throw some grenades, pull out. Alright. You know what? Okay, now we're in the 60s. But I've got a sword. Oh, God. The controls in this game are bad. Oh, I've died. Okay, so in the end, what is this CPU? It's fucking terrible. It's 2 cores and 4 threads. It's not good, by any means. But if you're trying to play competitive games like CSGO, even Rainbow Six Siege, it should be fine. So, in the end, competitive games with, again, you need a GPU. Oh my god, that is so hot. You need a GPU. You're going to need something. Now, an RX 580, now obviously this one's the advanced model, I guess you would call it. This is a nice RX 580. Any RX 580, RX 570 even. Hell, I would even say for like CSGO and RX 560 or a GTX, don't buy a 1050 Ti or 1050 new, and if you buy it used, make sure it's cheap as hell, because those things are terrible. But 970, something like that will work for competitive games on this 2-core 4th-thread CPU, which is surprising. And if you want to play Hitman 2, you'll be fine, which is, again, really surprising that we were getting over 100 FPS. We got more FPS on Hitman 2, and it was CPU full bottleneck, than on CSGO, which is crazy because CSGO is so easy, much easier to run, but that's the point. So, in terms of this video, a little pointless. I mean, there's tons of benchmarks, but it kind of gives, my take. I have the CPU. I thought I had to review it. I was going to try running VR on it. I'm just going to tell you, none of the games will launch. I tried it. The games won't launch for me. Again, I could probably sit here for hours and hours on end messing with the Oculus software. I really don't want to do that. It's hell. I hate the Oculus software. But none of the games would launch. I couldn't get Beat Saber to even launch. I couldn't get Half-Life Alyx to launch. I'm gonna do some content with Half-Life Alyx and stuff like that and testing it and stuff. But this CPU just will not launch it, even under the best case scenario. This is the point. Hope you guys kind of enjoyed this little video on me just testing the Athlon 3000G while I have it. This was mostly for me to test this motherboard because this is the motherboard I'm going to send now that I know it works with the processor. Of course, that's not the RAM. I have a different kit of RAM and a different SSD to send with. But that's the point. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.